Flash games. They were part of my childhood as much as any other console or PC game I played during that time. Super Mario 63, Ultimate Flash Sonic, or countless other games from Newgrounds, Cool Math Games, or whatever other sketchy site I could find myself on. I was born January 1st, 2002, so as of the making of this video, I'm 20 years old. In other words, by the time I started using something along the lines of my grandma's old compact PC with a huge-ass CRT monitor and serviceable at best internet connection around 2008 or so, Flash games were still pretty popular. All of my internet and computer knowledge is basically self-taught from there on out, and after finding YouTube, I soon discovered Flash games. Realizing this and combining my biggest interests, I took to the world of Mario, Sonic, and then the subject of this video, train-themed Flash games. Before I get into it though, I was inspired by these videos to make this one, so go check them out if you're interested. As you might know, Adobe Flash Player was discontinued in early 2021, so I'll be playing most of these games through Flashpoint. Links to everything will be in the description. One of my first experiences with a train-themed Flash game was the old Thomas & Friends website full of information, games, and other interactive stuff and activities.
You are a really useful engine.
You can even play video clips from the show.
Thomas wished he was taking the children to the seaside.
Oh, that's one crusty video. I somewhat remember this site, but I'm pretty sure it looked a little bit different by the time I got around to it, as this is a 2005 version. Plus, it seems this is the British version of this site, given Michael Angelis' voice is heard throughout. Unless he was in both versions, I don't remember. Whoa there, Thomas, you take one too many Benadryls?
Really useful engine.
Oh god, what did they do to you, Thomas? Don't worry, buddy, I'll get you back together. I did it. The Lego game is a click and drag one where you build to the station, which looks a little bit different. Back to the website though, the iconic engine race game where you spam the left and right arrow keys. Memory match, choose the right path, and the build an engine game where you drag pieces of Thomas or Duncan together. There was also these other games I found from an archived link on Twitter. Considering these were made for kids like myself at the time, they're pretty simple and not very hard, but they're well put together and I'm sure gave people like you and me plenty of hours of entertainment. Honestly, the whole site could be its own little video, but let's move on. Next up is a collection of Japanese train simulators from RealRailway.com, which has been ongoing since 1997. These are interesting in the sense that you're essentially controlling the speed of a pre-recorded video from the cab of a train. A video file plays, and using the basic HUD controls, you can control the speed of the train, or video, and make station stops where necessary. Your performance is graded at the end. As you can see, I'm not very good. There's a decent variety of lines to choose from, each with their own trains and sights to see. Unfortunately, some older versions are unplayable, but there is a mobile version of the game for iOS and Android devices. Next up is the official Unstoppable Flash game used to promote the 2010 film. With my stupid, dumb, goopy goblin gamer brain, I couldn't get past Area 3 Level 1, but hey, now that I'm older and have a somewhat less goopy gamer brain, I'm able to achieve my dreams of getting through that level and beating the game after 12 years. Using your mouse, you click and drag and build a questionable railroad right-of-way through various maps before the 777 train races through. However, you do have a money limit, so if you destroy too much, you'll fail the level. Other challenges include bridges taking extra time to build, and you can't have too sharp of curves or hit any hazardous obstacles or else. Yeah, I think we're gonna need more than a broom to clean this up. There's 5 areas with 4 levels each. After completing one, a clip from the film plays and you move on. Honestly, there is a bit of quick thinking skill required trying to find the most optimal route and narrowly avoiding hazards. Sometimes debris will even fly out and make everything go if you aren't careful either. However, you do have barrels of water to guide and slow you down, and the hazards are clearly marked. Overall, it's quite well made, has some decent challenge, and I had a good time revisiting it. Train traffic control is quite simple. It's essentially a railroad dispatching simulator where you flip switches and change signals, allowing trains to pass through or stop at the station. The first level is England, seemingly after a massive drought. You have to make sure you don't send trains out too early in case another one is on the way. If you run into a siding or another train, you lose. The second level is China with a more complex track layout, and later levels add on more tracks. While there is some strategy involved, the game did get a little bit boring for me after a while. I was only willing to play 2 levels, so on to the next game. Mini Train is a colorful and geometric puzzle-based physics simulator. You have this, well, rather mini train, and build a bridge out of shapes for it to pass over. The train automatically runs at a fixed speed when you hit go, so you have no control over it beyond how you've laid out the shapes. I didn't go through all the levels, but there's 24 of them to play through, crossing over bombs and pits. There's no way to manually rotate the objects, so you have to rely on the rather floaty gravity for them to spin the right way around. Otherwise, there's not really much else to say regarding this one. From the same creator as Mini Train is Build the Bridge. It plays basically the exact same as Mini Train, just with a different art style and more variety in the objects. For some reason, I don't remember these anime characters being on the train whenever I last played, but I digress. The gravity is less floaty, camera controls are nicer, and you can rotate objects with the arrow keys. You can also unlock different locomotives with varying stats. Though I will comment on how, strange the trains look though. I guess British Railways was just having an off day or something. Generally though, it's a fairly solid game. Next game is Train Mania. Honestly, this one's a lot of fun to this day. So you know those cut and paste 2D driving games where you use the arrow keys to balance upright as you traverse a course with like a truck or a dirt bike or something? Train Mania is that, but with trains and some extra stuff too. You can pick from 5 locomotives and travel across 24 levels with different challenges in mind. Some involve picking up a load and keeping it from falling out or damaging the locomotive. A killer locomotive chasing after you! Or just mixing things up with different railcar types and other gimmicks. You have to adapt to the track geometry and changing physics with how the freight car and its load will affect your train. You can tilt while in midair, but it's rather subtle compared to other games like it given trains are meant to be heavy. One day I'll probably go back and actually finish the game when I'm bored. This is definitely one of the more fun, replayable games. The next game here is Railroad Rampage. Taking place in the American West, it plays like an arcade beat 'em up where you hop on a train and you just kinda beat and shoot the shit out of everyone on the train. At the head end you meet the wanted person who acts as the boss. You're able to walk, run, slide, throw some punches and kicks, and shoot your revolver. Even with some extra moves, it's a little repetitive just spamming your attacks, but there's a lot of charm that overshadows that because it's just damn fun to play. The AI is rather good along with the sound mixing and music. The sprite work is fairly detailed as well. I don't think I'll get around to beating the game, but Railroad Rampage is definitely worth playing at least a few of its levels. Railway Valley is a tycoon game where you build tracks and have your trains connect up with stations and industries. The game progresses through the years with new trains and architecture popping up every so often. Natural disasters and train crashes can also affect your railroad. I'm not super into tycoon games like these, and I can see why I never got far in it as a kid, but I get the appeal of these games, so check it out if it piques your interest. This one isn't really its own game, but I do remember playing the train level in Happy Wheels quite a bit. Even to this day, it's still just kind of funny to replay it over and over again and just see what kind of crazy stuff happens. These last few games are ones that you suggested to me on Twitter. I've not played these next three, so let's see how things go. Lego City train game is Snake. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's Snake, but with a train. Just use the arrow keys to move around, collect the item, and more cars are added to your train. Not much else to say, so let's keep going. This is Choo Choons. It's basically a toy train simulator where you can build your own layout or edit a pre-made one, and drive up to 4 trains around with a couple of cars. You can save and share your builds too. It's got simple controls, the models and sounds are nice, on top of a charming toy-like visual appearance with a decent variety of objects. For being a Flash game, it's a chill time, and I'm sure I would have spent a decent amount of time playing this as a kid. This last game is Rail of War. So you have an armored train and some guns against an armored vehicle and airborne enemy force. Go. I think I remember seeing the name Rail of War on Flash game lists, but I don't think I ever gave it a shot. Playing the first 2 levels, I would say it's a pretty damn good time. The railgun-based shooting gameplay is pretty unique. Shooting down planes and blowing up land vehicles is pretty satisfying, and the graphics are pretty nice as well. It's a rather in-depth game too with all the unlockable equipment, and I'm sure people have sunk a huge amount of time into this game. But man, fuck these vehicles in particular. Probably just a skill issue on my end, but still. The game does have a bit of challenge to it. I'm kinda disappointed I didn't play this game until now, but I might come back around to it at some point. Overall, Rail of War gets a "it's pretty good" rating from me. Thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. It was a lot of fun revisiting these Flash games that were integral to my childhood and experiencing some new ones. Testing these games prior to recording at 4 AM with my cat curled up on my lap kinda reminded me of a simpler time when Flash games occupied a good amount of my computer time. If you want to see me try some other classic train Flash games that I might have missed, leave a comment below with some suggestions and I might do a part 2. Regardless, I hope you all enjoyed this little retrospective look at some nostalgic train Flash games, and thank you for watching.